We have some of the best racing action that comes in, the most high-profile events, the Show Me 100, Lake Lucas over to the south with the Kentucky Drag Boat Association, off-road racing just to the southeast of here. And we also celebrate and honor those who make it all possible. Memorial Day weekend, a huge event, and 4th of July, exactly the same, with the biggest fireworks show you'll see in the Quad State area. Modifieds roll out 20 times around for the Cedar Creek Beef Jerky USRA Modifieds. 26 made the way to Wheatland tonight. Typically, we only take 24, but all 26 will start the main event. And a front row with two drivers that haven't even been here this year. It starts out with Brendan Gimmel. He's out of Wichita, Kansas. He's a three-time track champ. This is the first time he's been to the Diamond of Dirt tracks. And Houston Johnson, he leads in two different divisions over at I-35 this year. He's from Kansas City, Missouri. His first trip here this season.
Row number 2, it's going to be Nick Benninger, the Perry, Kansas 3B, and Greg Scheffler, Pittsburgh, Missouri, in the 21.
Jason Pursley comes to us from Hermitage, Missouri, and R.C. Whitwell out of Arkansas. First race back for him in 2 years.
It is Ryan Midoff, Fulton, Missouri, in the 21, and Trevor Hughes, the second generation Oklahoma, Salina, Oklahoma, in the 712.
J-Rod, Jared Martin starts inside row number 5, and Kenton Allen running for Rookie of the Year standings out of Chanute, Kansas. He pilots the 9.
T-Shaw, Tyler Shaw, the Mexico, Missouri, 85, and Tracy Wolf, Buffalo, in 21W.
Gary Christian comes from Broken Bow, Oklahoma, in the 58X. And Dylan Hoover's already won 4 times this year. He will start in 14th.
Lewis Jackson, Edgerton, Kansas, the 3J. Chad Stouse, Otterville, Missouri, in the C3.
Randy Brown made the U.S. MTS swing up in Iowa, decided to stop here in Wheatland, Missouri on his way home to Chowchilla, California. He's behind the wheel of the 16, and Tyler Hibner from Chillicothe in the 89.
Tyler Grooms, the Trenton, Missouri, 92, and Jay Fields from Hermitage, Missouri, in the F26.
Wyatt Gajeros out of Wichita, Kansas, G-Man in the 15W, and Richard Kimbling from Slater, Missouri. The 73-year-old starts 22nd.
Andrew Thomas, he comes from Chillicothe, Missouri, the 12 car, and the 03 of Chase Jones, El Dorado Springs, Missouri.
And the night started out to be about as dismal for our final 2 drivers, Terry Phillips and Tyler Wolf. Terry Phillips broke while leading his heat race. He is not able to answer the bell. He does not come back out. Tyler Wolf didn't even make it out onto the track. And Tyler Wolf starts all the way back in 26th. And we say Terry Phillips didn't make it out. He made it out, but that's where he's at right now. He's on the infield. I looked out on the grid and didn't see him back there on the last row. And again, TP was leading his heat race. He is already out of the car, checking over that Don Babb Motorsports Andy's Frozen Custard ride. You know, it amazes me, Doug, still. Andy's has been a longtime sponsor of Terry Phillips. Andy's based out of Springfield, Missouri, just down the road about an hour and a half from here. Andy's now sponsors NASCAR rides, sponsors NASCAR races. Amazing how that little frozen custard place that just used to be on one little corner in Springfield has now exploded into a power that they are.
Well, you know what it is. It's Terry used to do a lot of traveling when he raced and spread the word of Andy's Frozen Custard. They even have a dish named for him, the Terry Phillips, that you can buy at Andy's Frozen Custard.
And I know they've had the Austin Dillon before.
Yep.
I've actually had the Austin Dillon. There's another one. Eric Almirola, I think, was one of them that had one at one time. So the Hobby Time Motorsports safety crew looking on the back end of the Bloodline race car number 75. Again, a chassis that Terry Phillips has started to develop in that Bloodline. Dylan McCowan has one of those cars that's been pretty successful for him. And you see issues with the 96. Tough break for the other driver in R.C. Whitwell. First time back for him. Did not race at all last year. We saw him here 2 years ago. He would come in for a couple of big shows, and he's won some really big races. He won at Texas Motor Speedway, won at Southern Oklahoma. And it looks as though from race control says drive shaft is an issue on Terry Phillips 75. So the Hobby Time Motorsports safety crew has it on the hook. And while they take care of that car, we're going to step aside again real quick, take another break, and then when we come back, we'll get this modified race underway from Wheatland, Missouri. We've seen some fireworks already, but it's a quick night for Terry Phillips here from Wheatland.
I think your dad called Terry.
Well, as the Hobby Time Motorsports safety crew makes one final swing around this 3/8 mile oval, making sure no other debris on the track from Terry Phillips' car, the Bill Roberts Chevrolet Pace truck will have the lights turn off after they cross underneath the Foley equipment flag stand this time by. 26 modifieds, now 25 modifieds set to make the start.
You know, we've had drivers before coming around from Wichita, Kansas, and for whatever reason, they do fairly well when they come in here. Kind of interested to see how Gimmel does from the pole.
Well, he is bad fast, a 3-time champion over the years in that G3, won at 81, won a championship at the now defunct Jetmore with 88 career victories. He will lead him to green for the first time here at the Diamond of Dirt Tracks.
Now side by side, the three of Brandon Gimmel, the 97 of Houston Johnson as they come out of turn number 4. This time, for the first time, it's going to be Gimmel with the lead. Johnson in second. The 3 car, that is Nick Pinniger in third. Jason Pursley, the superintendent, in fourth. And Greg Scheffler, the 21, rounds out your top 5.
Got a quick look at Jay Fields in that 26, the former asphalt driver. Didn't get off to the greatest of starts, but he will keep it straight. We stay green, and Brendan Gimmel has checked out. Already has a second advantage over Houston Johnson. They're in the 97. Houston comes to us from up at I-35, and this is one of the events that he just very rarely deviates from his home track. He ran around 50 events last year, all of which were at I-35 in 2 different classes. He currently leads the points championship in this modified class, also in the limited late model class. So with it being a Thursday night, he's able to deviate away from that home track. And look at this mess. This is all in the backstretch, and Tyler Wolff, after having to go back to the pit area in his heat race, unable to run it. He had to go to the back of the pack, and he gets collected. Tyler Shaw involved in that as well. The 92 of Tyler Grooms out of Trenton, Missouri, up involved in that. There you see the 85 of T. Shaw. Lots of damage as 5 cars all get collected there on the backstretch, bringing out the Boone's Barbecue caution. We were running lap number 3, having a tough time getting this modified division underway. We'll see if we can click off some laps when we return, as Brendan, they think they're going to start 3 wide deeper in the field.
Mr. Striegel will probably take care of that.
And they got it straightened out just in the nick of time. Everybody gets back to where they need to go, and Brendan Gimmel, he loves where he's at right now as they accordion up deeper in the field off of turn 4. We stay green for the time being. A car slow on the front stretch. He's going to be able to make the left-hand turn. That's Jaron Martin. So we stay green, and Nick Benninger, he's going to make a run top shelf, get around the 3 of Brendan Gimmel. So a change for position. New leader on the pie line is Nick Benninger.
Binniger, one of the individuals who races quite a bit here, knows his way around Lucas Oil Speedway. He has gotten himself around the leader, Brendan Gimmel, and brings it around. Houston Johnson now moves to third as they go through. It is still the 97 and 96 R.C. Whitwell, and he is battling with Houston Johnson here for third.
Yeah, give some kudos to R.C. Whitwell. He did not race at all last year. This is his first event of 2023. He was back here in 2021. As you see the lights flicker, Boone's Barbecue caution comes out, and again, the 92 involved as Tyler Groom spins, and the super Jason Pursley. We see him stopped on the track as well. That's over in turn 4 as Jason Pursley last week here at the Diamond of Dirt tracks, while leading his heat race, his right rear wheel assembly came off. The lugs, I guess, just weren't tightened. So he had to call it a night early that night. He ends up coming back and running a great heat race earlier on this evening, and then loops it around. And if the caution came out for the incident over in turn number 2, prior to that, Jason should get his spot back.
Looks like he is heading up and looking to get his spot back here. So I think that is what's going to happen, Shane.
Now it's becoming more and more of a routine where we see the midweeks getting used. You now really see that across the entire nation. You could have an entire week and a half worth of straight racing running on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Doesn't matter what night it is. Have a will drive. All you got to do is steer it around, and right now Nick Binniger is making the left-hand turns with nothing out his front windshield. He leads the pack over Brendan Gimmel and Houston Johnson.
As they come out of turn number 4 this time, lap number 6 will go in the books. It is Nick Binniger. Binniger, the Chinook, Kansas, number 3B, brings him around. Gimmel in that second spot, the Wichita, Kansas native, as the caution comes out up in turn number 1.
Jason Pursley was charging hard up into 5th. And the 3J spins it around. That's the incident brought out by the hot shot Lewis Jackson out of Wellsville, Kansas. 3 top 10s here at Lucas Oil Speedway, still looking for his first win of the season and his second win of his career. Only has 1 career victory. So where the opening couple of laps, Brendan Gimmel had gotten out to a pretty past champion at Thunder Hill, won 6 championships at Lakeside, including a couple of back-to-back in 21 and 22. 3-time winner on the year, already picked up 1 here at Lucas Oil Speedway, looking to make it a second trip to victory lane for Nick Binniger, running out in front. Pulls away from Brendan Gimmel and Houston Johnson. Running back in third, R.C. Whitwell. Bottom of the track gets taken over by Jason Pursley, and Pursley is up into the top 4.
It is Nick Binniger, the 3B, your leader now. It is Gimmel. He takes that high side all the way around the track, trying to keep the momentum around and stay ahead or trying to pass the 3B of Binniger. Houston Johnson, the 97, in that third spot as they come through here tonight. Jason Pursley, the superintendent, he has got J.C. Whitwell, or R.C. Whitwell, to move over, or then with his caution out.
Tracy Wolf in the 21W loops it around. He is parked on the exit of turn 2 over on the back stretch.
He's always had, starts slow. He's had a rough first start. I think he's back at school and still working, but he's had a rough first part of the season, and he's really come on strong in the second. This year, he has had a great first part of the season as they got ready to go, and hopefully he will do what he's done before and get that big second half as they roll through. Nick Binniger takes the white or check green flag in the air.
You got to go green before you go white and before you go checker. So green comes out next. We have completed 8 laps, running lap number 9, and Nick Binniger 3-car lengths out in front of Brendan Gimmel, but Brendan Gimmel is staying right with him. Gimmel not giving up any ground at all until that turn right there. And then how about the spin by your current point leader in Ryan Midall? The 21 is sitting on the inside of turns 3 and 4. Yellow will come out, and then he'll get it fired back up. Another look at the spin here. See it on the bottom of your screen. He was to the inside and
Unassisted.
just loops it around.
Yep. About halfway through the race. Pair of threes up front as they come through. This time, green flag in the air.
All start high in turn 3, dive down to the bottom of turn 4, and that's where we get underway as the orange cone symbols the go line. Green comes out, and deeper in the field, all the cars continue to battle it out as R.C. Whitwell now has Trevor Hughes to the inside. Hughes started back outside row number 4. He runs in 7th. He jumps up to 5th, so he's able to get around both Gary Christian and R.C. Whitwell. Dylan Hoover does the same. Hoover is now up into the top 5, and here comes Gimmel to the outside, trying to find some grip up top. He stays 4 car lengths behind Vinegar.
It is Gimmel now on the high side, Vinegar on the low side. Vinegar has got to take that away from him and does this time. Going into turn number 3, it goes back to the low side. Nick Vinegar and fighting around, closing in is the G3 of Brendan Gimmel.
12 laps down, 8 to go. Doug, I just got a feeling the 3's going to win.
You know, that's a good bet. We'll take that to Vegas on this one.
Vinegar out in front of Gimmel. Gimmel shoots up high on the track, gets way up into the loose stuff, and that's going to cost him. Sometimes whenever you shoot up like that, you get enough of a grip, you hit the cushion, and you push off of it, and it gives you a good run. Did not work for Brandon Gimmel that time as he lost about 3 or 4 car lengths to Vinegar.
Almost looked like he actually took out a corner in that wall over in turn number 4 and almost made contact. Speaking of contact, it is the 97 as they come around this time. That is Houston Johnson as Gimmel. Just talking about him. Again,
you flirt with disaster. You're on razor's edge on the top of the track. All it takes is one little bobble, you jump the cushion, and especially over in turn 1 and 2 because it's a flat top over there. That is where you exit the track to go back to the pit area. So if you jump that cushion at all, that is what's going to happen. And Brendan Gimmel was running 2nd at the time to your race leader, Nick Vinegar, spins out, brings out 3rd right now with plenty of time, 7 laps to go.
As they come out of turn number 4, green flag in the air. We're back underway. Vinegar on the point.
Nice breakaway for the 3B. Gets out in front of Pursley. Dylan Hoover looking to the inside. 3 cars there battling for 2nd. Pursley has the advantage. But Dylan Hoover trying to find a full-time late model ride. Whenever we saw him here over the last few years, that was all he ran was a late model. Has his own modified that he runs. It's a Ron Click Ford engine, MB custom chassis. Trying to make a name for himself, continue to make a name for himself, I should put it that way. Draw more attention to where he might be able to get into a late model ride more frequently. Nick Vinegar now a 1.2 second advantage. Three-car battle for 2nd. Middle of the sandwich is Pursley. Top side, Houston Johnson. Johnson started outside row number 1. Drifted back a ways, but was able to stay in the top 5. 3 laps to go. Nobody has a challenge for Nick Vinegar right now, but Jason Pursley has his hands full. Last time by, he was in 2nd. Down the backstretch, he drops to 4th. Houston Johnson to the top. Gets the run off of 4. He will take over 2nd. Dylan Hoover jumps up to 3rd, and Pursley drops back to 4th. Fantastic race with these 3 modifieds. Looks as though it's going to be all Nick Vinegar. White flag will come out. He only has one lapped car Nick Benninger has to deal with. He will get around Richard Kimberling easily. Fight continues to be for third. Houston Johnson has dropped off the pace. He was in second, and he continues to set anchor, but Nick Benninger sets sail. He will win by nearly 3 seconds over Dylan Hoover. Jason Pursley able to make a pass over Hoover on that very last lap. Houston Johnson, something breaks on that car. Not quite a full moon for Houston Johnson, but Nick Benninger loves what he sees. He wins over Jason Pursley, Dylan Hoover, and Trevor Hughes.